To be alive, isn't it?
Hoo-ha.
A soldier that lives is one that, well, he lives. One thing we'd like to have is Melanie Butler and Linda McManigal to come up here and stage, and they have want to present Jill with a basket. Melanie always has something to say.
How's Bill doing? Pretty good, ornery old cats. I was blessed to come here and meet Bill and Wally and everybody, and I was just talking to the DAV reps, and they reminded me of the first time that I came here. And we talked about the nest and it getting started, and we were going to take veterans back to Minnesota, and you all took me to the tent outside and said, "Stop her. She can't take veterans with that are unstable," and I think my words were, "I'm taking them home." True. But it really is an evolution, and so I'm just honored that Jill road tripped out when they said they were honoring Gold Star families that gave the ultimate sacrifice. Um, she has been with our nest for a long time. She does a Ben Cop Memorial Ride. Um, and just some amazing things. So we have Benergy all the time. So we had a moth in our vehicle for most of the way that just decided, and that's one of her signs of Benergy being around. So she's loving Montana. She's actually been thinking it might be home for a little while. So with that, Jill, we have a basket.
All right, I should have got in on that hug too. Well, our traditional studying ceremony, we haven't got a native showed up, so we'll go on to the next thing, and I guess the first speaker I want to introduce is Great Gianforte. Please come forward.
Good morning. I want to start just by thanking Jill for sharing her story. You have sacrificed so much, and you have honored your son Ben today. And by doing that, sharing your story, you've honored every single person here who's worn the uniform of this great country. And I just want to, can we give her another round of applause? I'm going to keep my remarks very brief. I just want to thank, it's a pleasure to be here with you this morning. I want to thank every single person here who's worn the uniform of this country. Thank you for your sacrifice, and for the families, and especially for the Gold Star families who made the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you. It's important that we have programs like this, Vets for Vets, at this stand down to help provide services. I want to tell a little bit of my own story. I'm in Montana because of a World War II vet. Tim Frabel served in World War II. He trained right here in Great Falls. Although he was from Pennsylvania, where I grew up, he flew P-51s. And it was interesting. He told his story each day in class in ninth grade, 5 minutes at the end of class every day. And as a result, no one ever missed junior high school science class. He flew in the Pacific Theater. He flew a P-51. He was coming back from mainland Japan and got a bad vector and flew out to sea and had to ditch. And he floated for 4 days. He was finally recovered, suffered dehydration, but fully recovered. And in the process of him training here in Great Falls, he fell in love with Montana. And the only way he could get here on a teacher's salary was to do something crazy. He brought 2 van loads of ninth graders with him every summer. And we drove here from Philadelphia all the way to Red Lodge and spent the time in the backcountry. And that was my introduction to Montana. 1976. He went back and shared his story as an encouragement. And I, just as Jill did here, I would just encourage you to tell your story because it'll help others in the process. We're marking 75 years of D-Day, and what a tremendous sacrifice that was. We lost many selfless patriots that day in World War II, and we're losing that greatest generation. I lost Tim Frabel last year. We stayed in touch and continued to visit him. He retired to upstate Pennsylvania, and it's just in recounting his story, I just want to honor him for his service, and in the process honor each one of you. Each veteran has your own story, and you've served in many ways and continue to come back and serve in the community. And that's why one of the first things I did when I got to Congress, I started the Montana Veterans Commendation Program. I had the great pleasure this last year of honoring 19 veterans across the state who have served in the military and then come back and served in their communities. And I would just put an open request out. We have nominations open for this year. If you know of someone in your local Legion post or VFW who has served honorably and now is serving in their community, please reach out to our office. I will read their bio into the congressional record and then fly a flag over the U.S. Capitol and then come personally deliver that in your local post. It's a great way to just continue to keep focus on this and to honor each of your service to our great country. Just in conclusion, I would say that I would ask a favor of you. We have a lot of work to do back in Washington, and I would just encourage you to pray for our country. We have a tremendous legacy in the experiment in freedom that has created prosperity for so many over so many years, and if we'd not be able to continue to enjoy it without the continued sacrifice. But we desperately need your prayers in the U.S. Capitol as we continue to do your work. Thank you for your service. It's an honor to be with you. God bless you, and God bless this great United States of America.
Well, you're in luck, Congressman. I got a few tips of my own to give you. So the door's open, he says. Well, I see my big brother out here. I guess you can come up and help, buddy. You know, what I'd like to have the Senator John Chester's office has a personnel here, and I don't know her name yet, but come on up and I'd like to meet you.
Yes, hello. My name is Caitlin Avey. I am with Senator John Tester's office. I'm here in the Great Falls Field office. So